What's happening, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. Today I wanted to talk about something that I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about, and I want to talk very candidly here and just give my own opinions and my thoughts and try to get a discussion going. I want to talk about this idea of comparison culture. Now, when it comes to Pokemon Go, it is a collection-based game, and naturally, with a collection-based game, there's going to be a lot of bragging and a lot of people just trying to add value to their collection by showing it off to other players or to their friends or even on social media. But I think there is some level of toxicity that could form here, and I do want to talk about that. But overall, yeah, I just want to have an open discussion regarding this topic because it's something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, and it's something that I love talking about. It's the kind of thing that I would love to share about in this channel. So yeah, if you end up enjoying it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if it's your first time here, check out the links in the description below, and yeah, let's get right into it. Let's talk about comparison culture. Some of you might be asking what comparison culture is. Like, what the heck are you talking about, Count? Well, comparison culture is simple. Basically, you have a bunch of Pokemon that you've caught, and there are going to be days where you hit the jackpot and you got a whole bunch of really nice Pokemon, and you want to naturally show it off to your friends. And there's a weird instinctual feeling behind that. I don't know why we have this desire to show off collections, but that is naturally what we want to do. Like, if you look around my room, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I've collected that I love to show off. I get a deep satisfaction when people come over and check out my stuff. That's just something that happens when we are collectors. So with a collection-based game like Pokemon Go, naturally we want to brag and show off our collections. We want to tell people how many hundos we have, how many shinies we have, how many shundos we have. Like, this is something that is innately part of Pokemon Go and is part of the appeal of Pokemon Go. Like, I can't tell you how many people are motivated to get hundos of certain Pokemon. Like, they think the value of that Pokemon is behind this minuscule number. Like, the difference between a 91% and 100% is so minuscule that you will never notice it. Like, no matter what you are doing, no matter if you're raiding, no matter if you're doing PvP, but for some reason people think like it's not a great Pokemon until it's a hundo or really close to a hundo. I know a lot of players who get a 98% and they're just not excited about it. They're not thrilled about it because it's not a hundo. Even if it's like a 14 attack 98%, which in most cases is technically a hundo in terms of stats, they just feel like it's not a hundo unless it's a hundo. And, you know, like, for example, the raid I did yesterday, like, there was 2 people that got a 98%. One person was excited about getting a 98% Mewtwo because, my goodness, it's a 98%. But the other player that got a 98%, he was like, I'm gonna transfer this because it's not a hundo. Like, what are you doing, dude? It's a 98%. And that leads us into this whole idea of comparison culture. People really want to add the most value to their collection, and they are going to do whatever it takes to get that value. And for a lot of people, they want to compare each other's collections and brag about it. And like I said, there's nothing inherently wrong with that because it's naturally part of how we are when it comes to collecting. If we're collecting anything, we want to show it off. That's just naturally how it is. But when it comes to Pokemon Go, there is a bit of a fine line with collecting, bragging, and all of that stuff that people don't necessarily pay attention to, and I especially see this in social media. There's a lot of room for toxicity that ends up happening, and this is actually something that Reversal recently tweeted about, and I honestly think he has a very major point. And it's kind of what inspired me to make this video and start this discussion, because I feel like when it comes to Pokemon Go, when it comes to people's Pokemon collections, when people brag, and like I said, it's okay to brag, like if they want to show off a Shundo that they just got or a shiny that they just got, for someone else to just go in and rain on their parade by saying, oh, that's great that you have a shiny, but I have 3. Like, really? Like, that's not helping anyone, and it's not serving your, it's not serving you in any way. And again, I get it. It's the whole bragging culture, right? It's the comparison culture. Like, we want to be better than the person next to us when it comes to Pokemon Go. But really, what does that actually do for you? Like, for example, my collection, I'm extremely proud of my collection. I have a Shundo Rayquaza. I have a 98% shiny Lapras with the move from Raid Day, so it's a little bit more exclusive. And I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm really proud of getting. And yeah, I have maybe in total about 600% legendaries, and I know there's players out there that have dozens, if not hundreds, of hundo legendaries because they do thousands and thousands of raids and they spend hundreds of thousands, like not hundreds of thousands, but you know, they just spend a whole bunch of money on raid passes and they go raid like tens of thousands of raids, and of course they're gonna have that many hundos, but that doesn't affect me. That doesn't devalue my collection. My collection is something I'm proud of because I know what effort I put into it, and there are certain Pokemon yet, yeah, I do want it. And honestly, it frustrates me when people kind of, you know, like if I get a shiny that's, you know, of a legendary, like shiny Mewtwo, like I finally got it after 50 raids, like the last thing I want to see is people saying, oh, that's great that you got a shiny Mewtwo, but I've had 5 already. Like, who cares? I understand this idea of envy, like you can be very envious of someone that finally got something that you've been wanting for a long time. Like, I get that, but that doesn't give you the right to be toxic towards that person. Instead, why don't you celebrate that person's recent accomplishment, because that's the whole point of them posting that in the first place, right? Like if you go on Twitter, like 90% of the tweets that I see from my followers are a shiny that they just caught or a hundo that they just caught, and I'm excited for them. Obviously, like there are times where I wish I had that, like I wish I had your luck, bro, or I wish I had your luck, girl. Like I get that feeling, but you know, it doesn't mean like I should just start slamming them with, oh, like you think that's special? Well, look what I have. Like that doesn't do anyone any favors. It certainly doesn't help me out at all, and doesn't help that person out at all. Like, let's celebrate. Let's throw out congrats. Let's throw out likes. Let's throw out retweets. Like, that's more of what we should be doing, building each other up and celebrating each other's wins, as opposed to trying to make their win seem like a loss just because it wasn't your win. Let's celebrate in the fact that people are finally getting things. Like, let's celebrate the fact that people are grinding hardcore and they're achieving certain goals. Like, let's not try to rain on each other's parades and each other's achievements by showing off our own achievements. This whole comparison culture really is toxic, and I really think it needs to stop. And yes, I'm really speaking mostly for social media. Like, you see it a lot on Twitter and Reddit, but honestly, I think it does bleed into a lot of our different communities. Like when I go out raiding, I hardly see it, but in some groups I see it a lot. But in the group that I've been raiding with lately, I've been really fortunate to see that a lot of people don't necessarily try to rain on each other's parades. Like if someone finally gets a shiny, people are all celebrating it, as opposed to some people going, oh, that's nice that you finally got a shiny, but I have 5 already. Like, whoop-de-doo, like your achievement is nothing. Like, no one does that amongst the community that I raid with, or at least I haven't caught on to it, or I haven't seen it. But that's what we need more of. People just celebrating each other, people just appreciating that people are going at their own pace. Like, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars in Pokemon Go. I have spent money in Pokemon Go, and a substantial amount of money in Pokemon Go, but I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars a month on this game in order to get hundreds of hundos of legendaries. Like, that doesn't interest me. Like, there are certain Pokemon that I want 100% of, just so I could say that I have 100% of it. But I'm fine with Pokemon that are 93% with 15 attack, or 95% with 14 defense. I don't really care. But it doesn't have to be hundo for me to value a Pokemon. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to value, or that people need to pick up on, because I see a lot of people who tend to think that, you know, like because there's some player out there that has 600% Mewtwo's, or they have like 1,200% Groudons and Kyogres, that all of a sudden their 198% is not valuable. Like, no, dude, like you have a great Pokemon and a great collection, so you really need to start valuing your own collections and stop comparing it to other people's. Kind of wanted to just talk about this candidly. I feel like for a long time now, this has kind of gone unaddressed. And I think for a lot of people, they do think about this sort of stuff. People want to enjoy the game. They want to not feel entitled to certain things. And I really think that starts with the squashing of this comparison culture. Like, let's stop trying to compare each other and like trying to, I guess, try to outdo each other. Let's just focus on our own personal achievements and how we could be proud of our collections. Like, what would make your collection the best collection for you? Not necessarily in the world, but for you. Maybe your motivation is that you want to have the best collection in the world. Like, maybe that is your motivation, and that's why you're spending thousands of dollars every month in order to do thousands of raids, and that is your motivation. Well, all power to you. But when it comes to some other people, like, they don't have that kind of time and resource, so of course they have their own goals. Like, I have my own personal goals for myself and I'm sticking to it, and I don't want to change those goals based on other people's collections. And I really want to encourage that for yourself. Set certain goals, set certain things that you want, and just focus on that. You don't need hundreds of 100% legendaries in order to win the game. That is just a ridiculous thought, because there is no win condition of this game. It's a collection based game. So, you know, if you think completing the Pokedex is officially winning the game, well, you naturally do that over time. So don't worry about it. But I know a lot of people who have their own personal goals, and I love seeing that. Like, there's people out there who want a 100% of every single legendary, so they raid a whole bunch, and as soon as they get that 100%, they just stop raiding that boss forever. Like, there's people like that. There's people who want one of every single shiny Pokemon in the game, and that's a great goal to have, and you don't feel the pressure to raid as much as you want. And yeah, that's the beauty about Pokemon Go. So if someone gets a new shiny, celebrate it. Don't, like, they probably have their own goal that's separate from yours. So what's the point of you bragging about how you have 3 or 4 of that shiny? Like, let's just stop this comparison culture. Let's start celebrating each other. I feel like I'm just being a broken record, but honestly, I think this is an important conversation piece, and I think people need to stop thinking that their Pokemon collection is more valuable because it's better than someone else, when, you know, they might have different goals, they might have different ways of looking at their Pokemon, so of course it's going to be different. It might be better than, like, your collection might be better than their collection based on your personal values and your personal goals, but their goals are going to be different. So obviously, you know, their collection is going to be different. Like, think of it this way. Like, if their goal is to get like a certain number of shinies or hundos, and that's completely different from your goal, then technically their collection might be better than yours. So you got to think about that as well. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit more candidly. I know a lot of people have been wondering if I was going to make more discussion videos on off topics. Like, I've gotten a couple of DMs from people say, hey, why don't you talk about this, or why don't you talk about that? And why haven't you been uploading as frequently as you have been? Well, it's because life, and it's because of Mewtwo. I've been focusing a lot of my attention on getting shiny Mewtwo's, right? Because that is part of my goals. Like, I want 100% Mewtwo and a 98% or higher shiny Mewtwo, and that's going to take a lot of lucky trades, and it's going to take a lot of just stocking up on Mewtwo. So that has been my kind of goal, and that's what I've been working on, and for that reason I haven't been uploading a lot this week. But in any case, yeah, let's have a discussion in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about comparison culture? Again, this is not cancel culture. We're not getting into that. We're talking about something very specific and kind of unique to Pokemon Go, and I would love to know your thoughts from the Pokemon Go community, especially because this is something we don't talk about, and it's something that I would like to start engaging with. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and if you did, hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here. Don't forget that little bell as well so you get notified whenever I upload a video, whenever that will be. I think my next video will be like next week Tuesday, whenever this Mewtwo thing like dies down, who knows. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I will catch you all later. Hey guys, before I leave, I have to give a little bit of a spiel. I mean, when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, it's extremely difficult to gauge how successful you can be on YouTube. Like, there are some times where I have a ton of views on my videos, and there are some days where I just have no views on my videos, and it really comes down to the YouTube algorithm. And there's a lot of times where I get dinged for some of the songs that I pick or some of the footage that I show, and unfortunately it's because YouTube's copyright system is a little bit broken. But if you want to support this channel financially, I highly suggest you check out my Patreon. A link to it is in the description below. Your support definitely helps me out, and it helps support this channel because I would love to crank out more videos and increase the quality, and for that to happen I do need your help. So definitely go and check out that link. And yeah, big shout out and big thank you to all of you for supporting my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell as well. Check out the links in the description below. I am Count Jinsula, and I'll catch you all later.